This is definitely my favorite video to film every year. And every year there is some of the things that are the same that I'm not going to be buying. And every year there are some new things that I discover that I don't need to be buying. And my reasons for not buying these things vary. I'm still in the process of setting my goals for 2024. I'd love to hear if you do goal setting. I feel like people have very hot takes on both sides of the spectrum these days. I generally don't buy things because I don't like clutter. That is basically for my mental health. To have less clutter in my home is better for my mental health. I buy less shit because of that. I also inevitably buy less stuff because of the environmental impact of the things that we buy. If you're new to this channel and you don't already know my spiel about why we should buy as few things new as possible, you should probably hit the subscribe button, because my whole channel is based on this idea that we should buy as little new as we possibly can to have the smallest impact on the environment that we can. Everything we buy takes resources from the earth, energy to produce, and greenhouse gas emissions emitted to ship it all over the world, etc. So that's the second reason I try not to buy very many things. And for 2024 specifically, I'm trying to get really specific about my financial goals. I know that's going to be a big theme for me in 2024 because my parents have reached the age of retirement, and I'm starting to see how being ill-prepared for retirement can really make life stressful when you're supposed to be having, you know, finally this freedom, your time freedom, not working. And I'm realizing that if I don't get serious about saving for retirement, I might be in the same boat. So 2024 is the year of not buying things for those three reasons. I'd love to hear if you have any other reasons for yourself making a list of things not to buy in 2024. But without further ado, let me share some of my lists with you. Few different categories that I made, but the first category is in your kitchen, because I think I actually save a lot of money by not buying certain things in my kitchen that I realized over the holidays so many people buy, right? So many people in my family spend money on these things on a regular basis, and I simply don't. I save money in these areas. So number one is disposable aerosol oil spraying cans. Those cans that you can buy in the grocery aisle, spray oil and then throw them away. Yeah, I don't buy those because I have a reusable oil spraying can, which saves me money and saves waste. It's an all-around win. I highly recommend getting yourself one of those. I'll leave anything that I mentioned in today's video that you can buy below, but I still recommend always checking secondhand. I have seen many of these in the thrift store before. Two is aluminum foil. I don't buy aluminum foil. I don't have any use for it because I use reusable silicone baking sheets. Honestly, there's not much else to say about it. It just makes more sense to not have to spend money to use something for a few minutes and then throw it away, rather than to spend money on something one time and keep it for many years. Better for the planet, better for our wallets. We love to see it. I also don't buy plastic wrap. I honestly don't even know what this is used for, but I've never found a use for it in my kitchen, and I just use different things around my kitchen instead. I'll just use a regular container. I don't know. I just have never found a use for these. I don't buy them. Number four, I don't buy single-use water bottles. I don't know if anybody watching this video is still at the point where they're drinking out of single-use water bottles in their kitchen, but I know that's a thing. It's actually a huge phenomenon in the US that so many people buy water just to drink at their house. And number one, I feel like that gets so expensive, and I feel like you're less likely to hydrate on a regular basis like you should if you're having to buy single-use plastic bottles every single time you need to drink water. No, but it's also really wasteful, especially in a country where our water system is very well regulated and the majority of our drinking water is completely safe. So I don't buy single-use plastic water bottles. I also don't buy sparkly water in plastic anymore because we use a soda stream. I got mine secondhand, but you can find them secondhand, or you can buy any other brand, or maybe bubbly water just isn't even for you. Whichever is the case, I don't buy those things anymore. Number six is coffee pods. I really like a mocha pot, a French press. Actually, those are the only two things I like. I like espresso. So coffee pods have never really been a thing for me, but I don't buy them. They're incredibly wasteful, and I also think pretty expensive for what they are. Whereas mocha pots and French presses are super inexpensive to buy, and they're really easy to use as well. And then when I get coffee out, I always make sure to bring my own cup and also support a local coffee shop because fuck Starbucks. I don't buy pre-cut veggies because I have the ability myself to cut them up, and it's also so much cheaper to not have to buy those things pre-chopped. It's also less wasteful because I can usually get them without packaging, but this is just an all-around way for me to save money since I do have the ability to cut them up myself. I haven't bought paper towels, I don't think ever. Don't quote me on this, but I don't think I have ever bought paper towels since moving out of my parents' house. It just doesn't make sense, again, to buy something to use for moments and then throw it away. We have reusable cloths that we keep underneath our cabinet. As a matter of fact, I had a girls' night last night, several girls over, we did a little paint party. It was so cute, but one of them asked me if I had napkins, and I was like, this is a time for me. I tell you, we don't have paper towels, but here's a reusable cloth from under my sink. It just makes sense, and it saves me money. And in the same vein, we don't buy paper napkins for like parties or anything like that. I think my favorite swap I have ever made in my kitchen are reusable silicone bags instead of single-use plastic Ziploc baggies. It saves so much waste because I do use my stasher bags. Like, there are always stasher bags in use in my fridge, in my pantry, in my to-go bags, everywhere. I use them constantly. The ability to avoid waste because of my reusable silicone bags is unmatched. They are pricey when you get like good quality ones. I only recommend one brand ever. Again, I'm gonna leave it linked below. I've had some of these bags for 5 years and they're still going strong. And there's so many other kind of like copycats, if you will, on the market that just don't stand up to the test of time. So they are an investment, but I do think in the long run, they do save money, and I wouldn't recommend going with like a lower quality brand. I think it's just gonna end up being wasteful and cost you more in the long run. So all that to say, I no longer buy single-use plastic baggies. I also don't buy plastic sponges because the brushes that we use in our kitchen, the whole head can be removed and replaced, and then the brush head can be completely composted. It's just wood, and I think the bristles are made of, is it called sisal? Whatever it is, I've been buying them for years. They work so good. They honestly last a really long time, so I think they save money in that way too. But in general, I don't buy them because plastic sponges are really wasteful and they just go to landfill, whereas the things that I use last a long time, save me money, and are less wasteful. Okay, this is just a fun one for the kitchen section that I made, but I don't buy pecans anymore because I have 2 really big pecan trees in my backyard, and they last forever. Nuts can store for so long, and you can put them in the freezer and they'll last even longer beyond and waiting until the next harvest from the next year. But that's just one of the more fun things I don't have to buy because I'm able to harvest them myself. Not buying alcohol is very much a personal choice, but it is a choice that I have fully embraced the last year, that I have had different instances in my life with alcohol, with myself personally and people around me, and I've seen how it impacts people. And so in 2023, I think I discovered that I fully identify as sober, so alcohol is not something that we will be buying for our kitchen in the future, basically starting in 2024. Just fully going into the year knowing that is not entering my kitchen. When it comes to personal care, I also have seen, me compared to so many of my friends, how much money I save with things I don't buy because of personal care. I don't buy tampons or pads. Haven't ever worn a tampon, fun fact about me. But I've been using reusable period underwear for years, and I'm actually working on something. I know of a new brand that's gonna come on the market in 2024 to help other people never have to buy pads or tampons again, because it's also a very expensive thing that people who menstruate have to pay for, and it's absolutely wild how much money we spend in our lifetimes on that. So I think reusable period underwear, I think the menstrual cups are great. I've tried reusable pads. I wouldn't recommend them anymore at this point. I had one too many leaks with them. But all of that to say that I will not be buying tampons or pads in 2024, and if you have not found a zero waste period routine yet, highly recommend that you do that. Eye patches. Eye patches have become so mainstream, I guess I would say, that there are entire brands just based around putting single-use patches on your skin, and that is actually wild to me. A lot of the patches that you put under your eyes are just like very basic skincare serums and things like that. You can use like really nice quality, sustainable brands and then just put a reusable patch over it so you can control what's actually going on your skin, and just put a reusable patch to help it seep into your skin, if that makes sense. All that to say, I'm a little bit of a skincare fanatic. All the things I don't buy when it comes to personal care. Skincare is always something that I will spend money on, but single-use eye patches are not one of them. And same thing with sheet masks. I will not be buying any of those in 2024. Number 17 is razors, and not only because single use, or those razors that you dispose the head and throw them away, are really wasteful and get so expensive, but also just because I don't shave. Number 18 is floss. I use a water pick, so no flossing happening. Number 19 is shaving cream, and I don't know at this point in 2023 if anyone is still buying shaving cream. Even when I did used to shave, I just used soap and like made it work, because having extra things in my shower, again, the clutter, it's not good for me. And also spending the money on it, and then also the waste. All parts of that are a no for me. So I won't be buying that in 2024. Cotton balls and cotton pads are things that I would just have a reusable version of, so I no longer buy cotton balls either. Paper tissues for your bathroom are also something I don't buy. If I need a tissue, I just use my reusable cloths that I talked about earlier. They're very versatile. You can use them for so many different things. And I also don't use makeup wipes. I feel like a lot of people woke up in 2020 to how bad makeup wipes are for your skin, but I also think the conversation kind of opened up a little bit more about how wasteful they are and expensive they are, when double cleansing is so much better for your skin. And also personally for me, I really love the more generic version of the makeup eraser. Those things really work, and they're so good for travel, and they're reusable. I've had mine for years already, so they're reusable for a really long time. Talk about saving money, okay? No more makeup wipes. I'm not buying any makeup wipes. So in my personal philosophy of eco-minimalism, it's what I call it. Basically, you're buying as few things new as you can to have the least impact on the planet as you can. I've kind of talked about this. But one of the things within that like philosophy that I have is that you can pick and choose the things that are worth it to you to still buy new, or to still spend money on, or to still like have an environmental impact because of, etc. And one of the things for me has always been travel. There are other areas where I maybe used to, spend money or buy the things that are not so great for the planet, that I have decided probably not worth it, not really a priority for me, don't really need this. And one of those things is nail polish. For some people, nail polish is like, one of those things for them, like travel, like they wouldn't want to give it up. They are doing so much for the planet that like they're not giving up their nail polish. And fair enough, I completely think that that fits within like my philosophy framework. Nail polish is one of the things I don't buy, and I don't get my nails done. I just kind of prefer the natural look these days. It kind of fits my personal style a little bit more, but it's one of the things I won't be buying in 2024. I also don't buy plastic toothbrushes because you have to throw out your toothbrush quite often. So that can create a lot of waste. So I buy bamboo toothbrushes for our regular like travel toothbrushes, or sometimes you use at home. Like Madison, my partner, she kind of goes back and forth between our electric toothbrush and our bamboo toothbrushes, but we don't buy plastic toothbrushes anymore. We also don't buy plastic loofahs because we'll just use rags, or I have a brush. Is that what it's called? A body brush in the shower. Save some money there. And disposable lint rollers. Those rollers that you use like for literally a minute and then you rip off the piece and throw it away. I don't buy those anymore because I found one a few years ago that works so well, and I would never go back to the disposable version because once again, it's like throwing away money. And I don't like to do that. So we won't be buying any disposable lint rollers in the new year. I won't be buying any lighters or matches because I use a rechargeable lighter for anything I need. Candles, we also used one recently on a backpacking trip to boil our water, so it works in many circumstances. We won't be buying any matches or lighters in the new year. I don't buy plastic Tupperware because I really find that the quality is not good. So I have a set of glass storage containers that I absolutely love, and I will never go back to using the plastic ones. I am currently in my hosting era. I have hosted 3 parties in the last month at my house, and that was one of the things when we were making a purchase of what we call our forever home, was that it was a home that made sense for hosting not only like fun little parties, but also we've used it for friends who need a place to stay, members of our community who have gone through some tougher times. We've also hosted some people who just want to come into Austin, and they kind of help us with our garden for the weekend, and then they go into Austin and have a time at this like temporary travelers. Anyway, all of that to say that I've been in my hosting era, and one of the things that I bought recently is aluminum cups. They're just like solo cups, but they're by ball and they're aluminum. And at first I was like, this seems so ridiculous that they're saying that these single-use cups are more sustainable just because they're made of aluminum. But they're not just single-use aluminum cups, like you use them and recycle them. You can keep those things. I've used them now for 4 different parties, and we just wash them, reuse them, and they're really, really great. They seem expensive expensive when you buy them compared to like plastic solo cups, but after you use them 4 times, it just makes sense. Also, don't use any disposable Swiffer pads or dusters or anything like that. I also don't buy any conventional cleaning products. I find that like vinegar and baking soda can get the house so clean, like that's kind of all you need. Well, that and maybe a good soap and sometimes lemon for a little bit of a fresh scent. But other than that, I don't see the purpose in conventional cleaning products. So I haven't bought them in a long time, and I won't be buying them in 2024 either. Won't be buying fast fashion in 2024. Who's surprised? You know how people say like certain things will happen in your life and like that's the signal that you know you're an adult now? Well, having a favorite pen is definitely one of those things. I think in college maybe I gravitated towards like a pen or so, but now that I'm an adult and I like, you know, I'm a full-time working adult, I have a favorite pen and it's not disposable. And if I lost that pen, y'all, it's refillable, and if I lost it, I would be so upset. So I won't be buying any disposable pens in the new year because I also think there's something to be said for quality over quantity. Once you find a pen that is such good quality, you would be sad that you lost it. It teaches you this lesson of less disposability, quality over quantity, that sort of vibe. So no disposable pens for me in 2024. I kind of put this one in the wrong category, but it's paper or aluminum cupcake liners. I got a set of reusable ones this year when I, again, started having to make things to take to community events and parties. I just discovered that those are really helpful, and I think that over time, they'll be less wasteful and save me money. So won't be buying any disposable cupcake liners this year. Also, the type of nail files that you throw away that are basically like cardboard or paper or whatever they're made out of, versus getting one glass nail file that can last you like your whole lifetime. I'm pretty sure my mom has had her, well, hers is metal, not glass, like her whole life. So why do we buy the disposable ones? I'm not really sure, but I won't be buying any of those in 2024. Other cleaning things I don't buy are fabric softener. Honestly, it's bad for your clothes. I also don't buy dryer sheets because I have reusable wool balls for my partner, and I don't dry my clothes, so I don't even use those. I also don't buy scent boosters for a similar reason that I don't buy the fabric softener. I don't like adding smell to my clothes. Strong scents, prevalent scents. I would prefer all of my cleaning things, everything that like touches my body, to be unscented. And then if I decide I want to smell nice, then you can add perfume. But I feel like that should be like a secondary option. Otherwise, you're mixing all these smells together. I'm going on a tangent. Point is, I won't buy scent boosters. And in a similar way, I don't buy plug-in air fresheners. I have no desire for my home to constantly have a smell. It will give me a headache. If I want to light a candle for a vibe or for a party to have a smell, then I will. But plug-in air fresheners are a no for me. And if you're noticing a theme, I don't like smelly things, so no Febreze. I don't buy any of those things. Okay, now the miscellaneous section full of things that are like newer to me not buying this year, that have like really specific reasons. So the first thing in this category is planners or calendars. I have struggled for years trying to figure out how to plan digitally, not have to buy planners and those sort of things because they cost money, whereas there are so many great free resources digitally. And I understand, because it used to be me, that like digital planning doesn't work for everyone, and like for me that was the case for years, so I get it. But I finally figured out a Notion template that works for me, and so I don't need to buy calendars or planners anymore. We also won't be buying any fake plants. There are no fake plants in my house, not a single fake plant in this house, and there will not be in 2024. I think it is so counterproductive to take something that is a plant that is meant to clean the air, be good for the planet, do the things that plants do, which is like liven up your space, make you feel connected to nature, all those sort of things. And then to bring a petrochemical into your home, cosplaying as the thing that's supposed to be good for the planet, and it actually being like awful for the planet. I think that is so wild that that is so normal. Okay, something else. I have sung the praises of TikTok so many times because I think TikTok has radicalized me in a political, cultural, social justice like way. So I appreciate TikTok for educating me on so many different things. Like, I'm so grateful to TikTok. I think it's an incredible platform for free speech, for movements, for community. I think it's an incredible tool. But recently it has gotten so bad with the introduction of TikTok Shop, with those eligible for commission stickers showing up on my page, and I scroll so fast. Like, I have never bought anything from TikTok shop, but it still drives me absolutely insane. Recently, one of the things that I keep seeing are hair tools. Like, there are so many trending hair tools. I've seen things that like you just crimp your roots to give yourself more volume. Of course, the Dyson Airwrap is everywhere all the time. It's so expensive. These blow dry brushes, these different curling irons, crimpers, like so many different hair tools that exist, and I am tempted by them because I like for my hair to look nice. But one of the things that I've just default told myself, hair tools are a no for us. We're not buying any hair tools in 2024. I know what I like when I style my hair, and I know that when I try new things, it usually falls flat. So spending money and time on anything new in the hair realm just doesn't really make sense. So it's kind of a no for me in 2024. So I don't own a TV. I've never owned a TV since I moved out of my parents' house. And back in the day, that was like a weird thing. like a few years ago, before streaming services really became like the thing, me not owning a TV, people would look at me like I was an alien. And well, people of older generations still do, but I don't own a TV. I don't have a single streaming service. I don't pay for any streaming service. I used to utilize my cousin's Netflix account until we got the boot because of the new regulations or whatever. And so because of that, I've just decided we're just not gonna be buying any streaming services in 2024. It makes me very much more active in my mind, and I think that's been good for me. And especially because in 2023, I dedicated a lot of my time to volunteering and working with my community, representing my community, being involved in local politics as well as community groups, volunteering and all those things. And I only want to do that tenfold in 2024. I just want to make that even bigger. So one of the things we won't be buying is streaming services in 2024. Also, I have read more books in 2023 than I have any other year. I did fall off probably about halfway through the year in reading so quickly. In the beginning of 2023, for the first like 5 months or so, I was reading 2 books a month, and I was really proud of that. But I won't be buying any books in 2024 because I have learned how to utilize my library properly, that there are so many libraries around my city, so that if my local like branch doesn't have a book, I can request it from another library. I can also submit requests to get new books brought into my library, and some of the ones I requested have been fulfilled. So I very much feel like spending money on books is something I don't need to do in 2024, and so I'm not gonna. Impulse thrift finds, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like if I walk into a thrift store and I find something that's in my size or something that's cute, I'm so likely to buy it, even if I don't need it, even if I won't really get good use out of it. And I know that about myself. I try to only work off of my wish list. I try not to buy things just because I see them and I think they're cute. Things that I've thought about before, the things that I try to prioritize buying. But every year it's I'm not gonna buy impulse thrift finds. Also, not gonna buy any trendy decor or decor from big box stores. Again, I feel like with this exposure I have via TikTok to how much people shop and how much they swap out decor in their home, like it's mind-blowing what's actually happening out there in the ether, you guys. I know for a fact that if I buy that thing that I think is cute from Target, I will be sick of it in a year or in a couple years, or I will look at it and go, I could have bought a much higher quality version of that I actually would have liked to keep for years. And so I'm not gonna be buying any trendy or decor from or household anything from big box stores this year. I'm just not doing it. Also, I'm not gonna buy any new tech or new phones this year. Well, with the grace of the tech gods, if my laptop doesn't die, I won't be buying any new tech this year and no new phones. It's become so, again, normalized to replace your phone every year or every other year or whatever it is, and I don't wanna do that. Something I was considering buying, or I guess I should say Madison was considering buying, but we're a household, we're married, our finances are together, so whatever. One of the things we were considering buying in 2024 was an EV, and I think that is no longer a consideration. We are a one-car household, but we both work from home, and it kind of made sense for a while for us thinking about maybe having a family someday for us to buy an EV, but I think we realized some things about family planning, we're not quite there yet, and EVs are also not quite there yet. Finding a good EV sedan that doesn't support Elon Musk. We decided we would buy e-bikes instead and utilize those in instances that we can use most of the time instead of needing to buy another car. And so we won't be buying an EV in 2024. I put this one here instead of in personal care because, again, my exposure to seeing how many people my age are getting fillers and Botox is wild. Again, I did not know this was not normal. I don't know that it's normal. I don't really like to shame anybody for what they choose to do with their body. Like, it's your body, do what you want. I'm not shaming you. But I do think like it's really dystopian to see people like leaning into these social pressures and being like proud and excited about it. I don't know. I'm so conflicted. Again, can you hear as I'm saying it? I'm like, ugh, it's a weird feeling, but I don't like seeing it everywhere. I don't like feeling like I am behind because I am not getting these things. And the way I keep seeing it, that's how it makes me feel. Can we also talk about how fucking expensive they are? Why is this becoming so normal? Like, I just don't understand. Anyway, moving on, not getting any fillers or Botox in the new year. And I think in 2024, I won't be buying any Christmas decorations. For the last few years, since I kind of let go of my Grinchy ways so much, I think 2020 changed me in thinking that I would never buy any holiday decor, because prior to 2020, I was a minimalist in the sense that I didn't want my home to be cluttered, and I didn't want to store things all year to use for like a month. I'm still a little on the fence about that part of it. And this year, I got really into making my own decorations. Every decoration actually that I added to my house this year, I made it myself. And I think I want to continue with that trend, that if I feel the need to add anything to my house, it's so nice to make it myself. I also prefer like big statement pieces, and getting those things is so expensive when you buy them new. And I think like in 2024, I'm gonna make a stance of not buying any new holiday decor, including like secondhand. And if I want to do something, I can make it using secondhand materials, because I'm lucky enough to have a secondhand craft store. This is 50 plus things, because we technically had 51 things that I'm not buying in 2024, but I'm so excited to hear if you agree with any of these things, or if you disagree with them, or if there's things that I missed that you think we need to not be buying in 2024. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, because I talk about things we shouldn't buy and how to live more sustainably and inevitably save more money, and we're gonna be leaning a lot more into that in 2024 as I prepare to make sure that I don't end up like my parents in retirement. And in addition to sustainable living, which is what I have traditionally talked about on this channel, I think I'm gonna start talking a lot more about community activism, volunteering, being a part of the community, and activism. All those things, those words all kind of go together, but that's what I've been doing in my personal life and my personal time in 2023 so much, and I'm so much more passionate about it that I would love to start sharing that more on this channel. And that's kind of also where my saying came from, and I'm gonna leave you with it, which is, do your best and advocate for the rest in 2024. Happy New Year!